Restored Republic via a GCR. Update as of July 26, 2021. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website restoredrepublic.co. Judy note. The quantum computer has been activated. Biden was about to resign, and on Wednesday the 28th of July 2 typhoons were set to hit China, where the already damaged Three Gorges Dam was expected to collapse, whacking Big Pharma, Bitcoin server mining and at least 24 nuke reactors which were under the dam. That would turn on nuclear sirens at 24 locations around the globe and call to action militaries of all nations. The below exchange, redemption protocol instructions from Fleming's military contact applied to all foreign currency and ZIM bondholders worldwide. It appeared Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, would receive active secured cards with our actual exchange, redemption monies on them, plus instructions on the exchange and a non-disclosure agreement to sign delivered to our doors by FedEx within the next couple of days. If not, by Wednesday the 28th of July you should be able to go into a secured website, published on various dinar websites, plus in this daily update, and obtain a personal 800 hash to make an exchange, redemption appointment at a redemption center of your choice. You would receive your secured card at your appointment. On Friday morning the 23rd of July, secured cards began to be sent out through FedEx to over 8 million foreign currency and ZIM bondholders. The secured cards granted immediate access to monies in personal accounts in the quantum banking system once the bearer went online and authenticated that they were the proper owner of the foreign currencies and ZIM bonds mentioned on the secured card account. A list of all of the foreign currencies that you bought would be on your card, along with a dollar amount of the rate of exchange. If you disagreed with the amount, or if the amount of bonds and currency you had was incorrect, you could make an appointment at a redemption center by going to the secured website and making the call and then taking your foreign currency and ZIM bonds to the appointment to correct your account. If the money's amount shown on the screen was correct, you agreed with the exchange amount on your currency and ZIM bonds, and you did not have a humanitarian project, you had no need for an appointment at a redemption center. The new currency rates were no longer contract rates, but considered placeholder rates that have been established through agreements with the various countries involved for purposes of our RV. Those placeholder rates had been locked into the QFS weeks ago. To receive the higher contract rates you would have to qualify for them by showing that you were willing to put some of your funds into humanitarian projects. If you held ZIM bonds and wished to do humanitarian projects, you would need to make an appointment at a redemption center to meet with your wealth manager. Your wealth manager worked for you and would coordinate your humanitarian project with special global humanitarian project committees. These committees would coordinate with each other for the benefit of the world. This new oversight process would determine your bond, currency and interest rates by evaluating the amount of bonds and/or currency you held, plus what they determined to be your ability to deliver on the humanitarian project you were proposing. This project discussion would take whatever time it took. In the meantime, the monies received from a person's exchange, redemption that was on their card would remain live and accessible to them. If you have any unusual situation, you can still go to an appointment at a redemption, exchange center and explain your situation. They would work it all out. Paymasters brokers were no longer involved in the payout process to eliminate stealing, fees, charges and splits. SKRs were no longer valid, so currency holders could take advantage of the higher rates now available. Fines and penalties adjudicated accounts, including CMKX, CMKM, farm claims, Omega, etc., have all been moved into this quantum banking system to be managed via the rollout, along with all of Tier 4A, B. There were no further private deliveries taking place. There would be a 15% tax implemented on ZIM bond redemption because it was an investment. There was no tax on foreign currency exchanges. Judy note. It was my understanding, and this is only my opinion recognizing that I could easily be wrong, that the principal of your bond money stays at the bank and you only use the interest earned on the principal for yourself and for your project. I heard a long time ago that interest for your personal use was 1% of the earned interest on your bonds, but that rate could have easily changed by now. Saturday the 24th of July Mark Z. I have multiple reports from bankers across the US that they were being brought into the banks on Monday the 26th of July. Many were on vacation until August, because the banks were expecting a lot of changes. There were also reports of new ATM-style machines for the new USTNs being deployed throughout the states and other machines being updated. Restored Republic. DEFCON scare event. On Wednesday the 28th of July, two typhoons were set to hit China, where the already damaged Three Gorges Dam was expected to collapse, whacking Big Pharma, Bitcoin server mining and at least 24 nuke reactors which were under the dam, that would turn on nuclear sirens at 24 locations around the globe and call to action militaries of all nations. The world's food supplies were getting slammed by drought, floods and frost. Extreme weather is slamming crops across the globe, bringing with it the threat of further food inflation at a time costs are already hovering near the highest in a decade and hunger is on the rise. All of which, when combined with precision cyber attacks on cabal companies, that link back to Executive Orders 13,818 and 13,848, would lead to the largest stock market collapse in history. Transfer of wealth must happen some way. Q said we were going to show you a brand new world. Many industries and existing systems would not remain. A. Sunday the 25th of July, Nick Fleming on the quantum banking system. The quantum banking system will make everything safe and easy. Imagine every phone conversation, from every call, has been recorded. Every email, text, any report, whether a business or a private piece, anything ever written. Anything anyone ever wrote about you, that mentions you, from A to Z is culled through in nanoseconds by the quantum computer, prior to final release. This is the system that's been developed, which in 1 hour, can do the work that would have taken 30 supercomputers, a year to calculate. With this analysis and information it will know the character, skills, mindset, pretty efficiently. This artificial intelligence machine will decide about any person, with a report of good or bad, or right or wrong. All will have to be determined prior to final release. Only when we take this step, by personally sitting at the table to seek these project dollars, can we really know how well a judge this artificial intelligence is. To our benefit, this is also the same system we'll be using to do background checks on people we hire. It's going to save a lot of time and money. We've heard that it's very, very secure. Change is coming and this will affect how we bank every day. More will be shared by Dodd as this RV Tier 4 launch commences. B. Sunday the 25th of July, the real news. Green light is on. QAnon digital army is ready. Enjoy the show. Pictures of Trump, JFK Jr., Princess Diana. Power outage in many areas of Spain. London floods the streets with protests. Sydney, Australia declares national emergency over Delta variant, demonstration erupt and clash with police. Arizona Senate calls to decertify the election. Henan P. China. Reports heaviest rainfall in 1,000 years, 100 missing, 70 dead and rising. Just in. Austria's interior minister and defense minister announced in a joint press conference that the country will tighten its border protection as the European asylum system has failed. Austria will deploy hundreds of additional soldiers to the borders. The situation is serious. French hospital goes on indefinite strike to protest. 200 million people in China braces for typhoon. For the 9th day in Iran, protesters violently demonstrate and riot, due to no water and no internet. Over 179 cities and protest sites erupt in France. Mass protests in Greece taking place as mainstream media blackouts the demos. Israel protesters start marching through the night. Q warriors. The quantum computer is activated. Green light digital warriors are equipped with quantum weapons. Here follow Q warriors to be up to date. Get ready. Soon. Ivanka Trump. Joe Biden going to resign. He's either gonna resign, they're going to convince him to resign, at some point in the near future for medical issues, or they're going to have to use the 25th Amendment to get rid of this man right now. There's some serious stuff going on. New, ex-White House physician Ronnie Jackson says, something's seriously wrong with Joe, believes Biden, 78, will be forced to resign or will face the 25th Amendment. Daily Mail. Whiplash 347, Three Gorges Dam will collapse by Wednesday guaranteed. I have a friend in China who texted me and said the typhoon is building stronger and will be a super typhoon by tomorrow morning. U.S. military holding White House for Trump's return. Real Raw News. U.S. military holding White House for Trump's return. The man who calls himself President, Joseph R. Biden, has never set foot in the real White House, Real Raw News can now report. Monkey wrench military movement and flights to Gitmo, JFK Jr., Audits are coming. Durham is coming. Hunter's laptop is coming. Hillary's emails are coming. Weiner's laptop is coming. Donald J. Trump is coming. Full DECLAS is coming. All lies will be revealed. They are just trying to get ahead of it. It won't work. The invisible enemy is throwing everything they've got at us. They know Trump has a war chest of dynamite ready to blow. He has them on the edge of a cliff and they know it. Q. Extreme weather phenomenon, mass immigration and totalitarian tyranny are happening at exactly the same time as the world wakes up to ELECTION fraud, FAUCIGATE, CCP spy ops, elite human trafficking, the Durham Report, laptops from hell, Biden crime syndicate, Wall Street fix, Pegasus, HAMR, Spygate, Clinton Foundation, CRT malpractice, FBI false flags, Big Pharma tyranny, UFO disclosure, Gov, Big Tech collusion, Big Tech censorship. Did I miss anything? These are all potentially devastating to the cabal and have only just begun to trickle out to the public. Is it a good time to be coerced to take an experimental medical concoction directly from the bad guys? Buckle up. Whiplash 347. What did I tell you about XRP, SEC case Tuesday? Same day two separate typhoons are hitting China, 3GD, Wuhan, and Japan. Have said absolutely happens until the 3GD collapses. The event begins with 3GD collapsing. BTC servers getting hit. What have I told you about BTC? I told you they want regulation on July 28, the day after. Mr. Poole showed document signing. I posted last year that absolutely nothing happens until the Three Gorges Dam collapses and the nuke event reactors and Bitcoin servers are whacked. It is all about the event. Paris shooting his arrow into Achilles to kill the cabal forever. Big Pharma labs in Wuhan. We get 6,000 Tesla cures. It is how everything starts. Including the SEC XRP case. It is not meant to settle normally. It is all a show. That date ahead means zero. SEC conference will be analyzed. Dark 10. U.S. In a federal indictment, 9 Chinese nationals were indicted in a plot targeting Americans on behalf of the Chinese government. 9 Chinese nationals in America charged as being illegal agents of People's Republic, part of bigger plot. Is the World Bank actually an evil empire? How money works. Sea floods, typhoons, fires, earthquakes, mass protests, civil unrest around the globe. Worldwide demonstrations on Saturday the 24th of July. A lot of people gathered in Portugal and Argentina yesterday to speak out against COVID tyranny. In Florence, Italy, some police officers decided to join the people. In Chile, Canada, Panama, Uruguay, Spain, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, London, Arizona and across the U.S. demonstrations were held. São Paulo. Video shows tear gas, flashbangs and scuffles between police and protesters as anti-Bolsonaro protest broke out in São Paulo on Saturday with protesters demanding the impeachment of the president, whose popularity has fallen in recent weeks amid corruption scandals. France. Shock. Will no longer protect President Macron. Will no longer protect President Macron. Macron isn't worth dying for. TAP News. We've the Republican Guard, a security detail established to protect the President of France, have all resigned, and will no longer protect President Macron. The mass resignation comes on the heels of his presidential decree requiring French citizens to have and use a sanitary passport, i.e. vaccine certificate, or be denied access to stores, bars, even denied voting. Citizens are taking to the streets in almost every major city, literally battling with police over enforcement of these new presidential decrees. Mass media is mostly ignoring the civil uprising, reporting almost nothing as the country erupts in protest. The fighting is getting bloody, fast. The French government has had to scramble to provide some other type of protective service for the vicious dictator, who is stealing French liberty. Members of the Guard who resigned have been asked why they quit and the near-universal reply: Macron isn't worth dying for. One can only hope the French people are successful at ridding themselves of this despicable tyrant in whatever manner they see fit. Tunisia's president suspends parliament after an emergency meeting with armed forces and security services, declares he is assuming executive power following violent unrest. Taliban demolish internet towers in Afghanistan. Puerto Rico rising up. Floods hit Slovakia, Belgium, Mexico, London, Myanmar, Philippines, Maharashtra India, Najran Saudi Arabia, Wolhusen Entelbuch Lucerne Switzerland. Blowing Dumbs. 0.334 earthquakes in the last 10 days in Europe but mainly Iran, Iraq etc. Floods in Australia 3 to 4 weeks ago. Now Europe is flooded greater than don't tell me nothing is happening. The tunnels are gone folks, return to nature. Power outage in many areas of Spain. London floods the streets with protests. Sydney Australia declares national emergency over Delta variant, demonstration erupt and clash with police. Large protests break out in Australia France Italy England vaccines. Arizona Senate calls to decertify the election. Henan P China. Reports heaviest rainfall in 1,000 years, 100 missing 70 dead and rising. Just in. Austria's interior minister and defense minister announced in a joint press conference that the country will tighten its border protection as the European asylum system has failed. Austria will deploy hundreds of additional soldiers to the borders. The situation is serious. 200 million people in China braces for typhoon. For the 9th day in Iran protesters violently demonstrate and riot, due to no water and no internet. Over 179 cities and protest sites erupt in France. Mass protests in Greece taking place as mainstream media blackouts the demos. Israel protesters start marching through the night. World's food supplies get slammed by drought, floods and frost. Extreme weather is slamming crops across the globe, bringing with it the threat of further food inflation at a time costs are already hovering near the highest in a decade and hunger is on the rise. Saudi Arabia. Heavy floods hit Najran in Saudi Arabia. Nile River. Gur Dam in Nile. Technical and other problems in construction of the dam. Ethiopia has not stored enough water to protect the dam from possible military action. Watch the water. Will it collapse? A catastrophic failure of the second Ethiopian dam filling with 3 billion cubic meters of water, as it originally planned to fill 13 billion. 6 gates have now been opened from the Sudanese Al-Rusairis reservoir to pass the water coming from Ethiopia. Whiplash 347, Lake Geneva remember. Rhine and Rhone River. Nile Dam also brought up. Three Gorges Dam 2. Hoover Dam is at its lowest. Mexico. At least 162 homes were flooded in Zapopan. When dam overflows and floods community in Zapopan, Jalisco, Mexico, people take refuge on the roofs of their homes. Hundreds of homes damaged by floods in Colinas de la Primavera, Jalisco, Germany, Rhenes Verhagen. Why is the military now standing by the Rhine with fully armed vehicles and asking people, attention attention stay away from the river, for your own safety? Wouldn't that be the job of the police or the fire department? Why is there now the military on the spot now that all the private helpers are supposed to get out of there? The military with fully armed vehicles in Ahrweiler, Germany ask people to stay away from the river. Why is the military on site at all, right on time, when all private helpers are supposed to leave? They know what's coming. The bodies will come. U.S., Philadelphia, massive water main break at 6th and Bainbridge. Flood waters rushed through wash area in Tropic, Utah. Pipeline breakthrough in Philadelphia, USA. Hardly an accident. Belgium. Cars were carried down a street as the Meuse River flooded after heavy rainfall in Dinant, Belgium on Saturday. The extreme weather comes weeks after storms killed 36 in the country. New, deadly flood hit Belgium, Agen. China. It's getting intense in China's Zhejiang with typhoon in FA. Seawater is flowing backwards in many places. As of Saturday, East China's Zhejiang province unleashed 1.62 billion cubic meters of water from its reservoirs that can fill 116 West Lake, the province's tourist attraction. This comes as the typhoon in FA is predicted to make a landfall in the province. The typhoon is headed right toward the Three Gorges Dam. China. Typhoon in FA made landfall in East China's Zhejiang province at noon on Sunday, packing winds of up to 38 meters per second at its center, according to the provincial flood control headquarters. About 330,000 residents of Fengxian district on Shanghai's southern edge were evacuated after wind speeds offshore reached 60 miles per hour. Hundreds of flights at Shanghai Pudong and Shanghai Hongqiao airports were cancelled and more were expected to be cancelled on Monday, state TV reported. Shanghai closed parks and the riverfront Bund district, a popular tourist area. The international airport in Hangzhou, southwest of Shanghai, also cancelled flights. Train service to Ningbo, a port city south of Shanghai, was suspended, according to state TV. The Zhoushan Bridge that connects islands near Ningbo was closed, as were schools, markets and businesses in Zhejiang province. Shanghai cancels flights as typhoon in Fa lashes eastern China. 2 international airports in the Chinese city of Shanghai have cancelled all flights and authorities banned outdoor activities. Shanghai braces for an Fa typhoon, cancels flights, while Zhejiang province already reportedly hit as an Fa reaches China's east coast. Sudan. Unprecedented rise in Blue Nile water levels amid flooding fears. Arab media outlets reported on Friday that an unprecedented rise in the levels of the Blue Nile had been recorded in Sudan. La Trinidad, Benguet. Strawberry fields in La Trinidad, Benguet are submerged in floodwater as Fabian pH hits the country. London. Major warning. Haringey, North London, we are having a storm of biblical proportions. I'm visiting friends and their house, all neighboring houses are being flooded. We are trying to find somewhere dry in the property but the water keeps coming. Walls, ceilings, the rain keeps coming down, electricity out. Anyone else experiencing this? Emergency services doing nothing. London, UK. This is so insane, some streets are knee-deep in water. UK. Stations in London have been left underwater this afternoon from severe thunderstorms and severe flooding. India. Koyna Dam of Maharashtra. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website restoredrepublic.co.